From Tobacco Republic in Loomis, California, the Loomis Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Hey everybody, welcome back. Scott Robinson with you for another episode of Beyond the Humidor. I don't have any ready-made rants this week, so I'm just going to hop into it. Do the introductions here. Hey, Camera Gorilla, how you doing?
Camera Gorilla is doing fabulous.
Fabulous. Like it. How about you, Lawrence?
Doing good. Had a good breakfast this morning. Got a nice cigar fired up courtesy of Gregory. And just sit back and enjoy a little bit.
It was a good breakfast for 3 out of 4 of us.
Yeah, set an alarm, jackass.
Speaking of, how are you? Getting that additional bit of sleepy time.
It was good. I'm regretting not having anything to eat, but it was good.
I'd say, do we need to fish you out a granola bar or some fruit snacks or something?
Yes. Yeah. Fruit snacks would be great. You got any?
No.
Oh, that's disappointing. You cruel bastard.
I really wasn't expecting you to get that excited about that.
Yeah.
That one Oreo in the bottom of the camera bag. Here you go.
Hang on. Production note. Add snacks and cheese sticks to bag.
No.
Let's get hangry.
Aside. Yes. Aside from the, not remembering to click the Saturday on my alarm, and it's a good thing you texted me. Otherwise, this show wouldn't have happened. But it's a good morning. Good cigar. Unfortunately, some tragic topics to talk about.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait. We talked about the Queen for 3 episodes. We're not talking.
I'm not talking. You realize, Larry, there are things worse than the Queen dying.
Yeah, pretty much every.
There goes our entire Commonwealth audience.
Yeah. All 3 of them are like, the hell with these sons of bitches.
It's only 3.
Yeah.
It literally is only 3.
All right.
Well,
Well, we lost Scott.
yeah, see, I was trying to be nice this episode. I wasn't going to say
Why?
I wasn't going to say things like Greg's fresh off a suicide watch, talk about the crown or, even bait him into discussing the crown. Because once you say anything about English, Greg will start giving you the lineage of the royal family.
Let's jump back into the cigar topic,
Yes.
shall we?
Yeah, can we?
Let's do that.
Yes.
So what is our...
as he acts all hangry.
So,
What are we smoking today, sir?
might be good to talk about that. So,
Yeah, that would help.
we picked today to give a cigar manufacturer that I really like, and I've gotten these guys to liking them as well. Some love today, and we're smoking the Last Tsar by Cadwell Cigars, and made by Robert Cadwell, and it's a great cigar. It is a hybrid Connecticut Maduroed wrapper over a Dominican binder and filler, and they are or were rolled in the Dominican Republic. More on that on a later part of the show. But today we have the Toro. It is a 50 by 6. It's a great ring gauge. It's a really good cigar. Chocolatey, creamy, good stick.
I'm not trying to correct you because I'm curious about this because you've said this more than once. Is it Caldwell or Cadwell?
Yes.
Okay, it's kind of like
it depends. It's one of those like the way you want to pronounce Geneva on Cavalier's name.
Genève.
It could be either way because
Okay.
I've heard both Caldwell and Cadwell, and it comes out of people within that company.
Well,
so
it depends
I don't
on
really
what
know.
part of the world you're from.
It does too.
Caldwell is typically U.S. pronunciation. Cadwell is typically European
Yeah,
pronunciation.
I can buy that. No, I'm just seriously curious. I wasn't trying to be a smart ass.
No.
I was shocked for a second when you said the size. This is really a 50 ring gauge?
I think so.
That's what I read too. And I was like,
I think it's more 46.
yeah, I mean,
50 by 6,
I'll be damned.
according to the package.
Okay.
I don't disagree with you. It does feel a little small.
yeah, it does.
I'd almost think it's a 47 because it almost.
Yeah, not a 46.
Well,
for
no.
Christ's sake.
It has the feel of the old school Churchill cigar.
Uh-huh.
But yes.
Yeah. Interesting. The construction of these, I haven't smoked very many of these, just a handful. But the construction of these is really, really nice.
Yeah, very solid.
I've always had problems, especially in here in the lounge when you're doing a lot of chatting and not, focusing as much on your cigar. I've always had a lot of trouble keeping this size cigar lit, and that hasn't been the case for me with these when we're smoking in here. It seems to be a little easier, and as to not having to relight this thing so many times.
Well, and even the last one that you and I smoked together when we were doing that charity golf tournament, I didn't see you relight that one at all.
No, we were cruising around all over the place in the golf cart and and talking to people, and these are just a really well constructed cigar, and interesting. With the Maduro, Connecticut, the wrapper leaf gives it kind of a different flavor than you expect when you take the cigar out of the cello. You're like, just looking at it, you're thinking you're going to be going this direction, flavor wise. Like we've talked about before on some other sticks, and it's not. It's
Yeah, I was about to say, you were touching upon what we've talked about for the last couple episodes or so about, Maduro appearance cigars, thinking it's going to be something powerful, but you've got a lot of manufacturers who are blending for flavor, not for punch. Now, you turned me on to this probably a few months ago.
Yeah.
And, you handed it to me. We were smoking on my balcony. I'll say this, and kind of funny, whatever, if you, whatever. But I looked at the band. I swear to God, it looked like fucking Steven Seagal. I was just like, oh, look, a Steven Seagal.
We need to get a real clear picture, camera gorilla, of one of the boxes. I'll send you one, so we can put this up on our Facebook page to see if the viewing population agrees or disagrees with Scott.
I don't know. I thought it was more Edgar Allan Poe-ish looking than that Steven Seagal, but
No, I'm just looking at going, oh, shit.
Maybe I'm looking at it with my bad eye. I don't know.
Well, to make it even worse, and Camera Gorilla was completely right this morning. The cigar is called the Last Tsar, which makes it
Tsar Nicholas.
who was the last Tsar before he was,
Yeah, you thought the English monarchy was back.
Killed.
You're ready to hear about the Russians. Okay. No.
I don't know anything about them, fortunately for these two.
Tsar Nicholas was killed in the Bolshevik uprising after World War I. He
Aha.
and his whole family.
We found Camera Gorilla's
It's
secret.
actually a really terrible, shitty story. Like, all their kids were, gunned down.
Oh, yeah, wiped
Terrible.
out.
Terrible
Yeah.
story. But, hey, history's kind of cool and tragic. So
Yes.
Yeah, even though we don't pay any attention to it.
Nope. How did you put it in the interview with Brandon Overson at PCA? History is messy.
Yep,
True story.
that's right.
So we're smoking this cigar today because it's significant to the other part of the topic for today's podcast. Greg, you want to jump into why we're doing this?
So, in the wee hours of the morning 2 weeks ago, Tabacalera William Ventura, which is the Ventura factory in the Dominican Republic. There's no delicate way to put this. It burned to the ground with various brands in it, such as Room 101, which is Matt Booth, the new company out, Freud Cigars.
They lost
everything.
everything. Right? Yeah.
Booth lost everything that they had in the factory. Caldwell, Cadwell, UPIC was one of the other ones that lost significant amount.
The factory was a total loss from what I was reading.
And our friend Adventura, I'm blanking on his name, but the fellow that owns Adventura Cigars, that was their factory. So
Yeah.
their stock was gone
Well,
too.
and then they have a satellite that they're going to try to start producing some stuff in. Actually, but by the time you guys hear this, they're already up and running and producing over there.
Yeah, they have a smaller plant.
Yeah, it's well, I was reading it's like a third of the size or something. But the guys like Freud, brand new operation.
Yes, first year at exhibiting their product and getting it out there.
And
it's in here.
Yeah, and they're completely wiped out.
Yeah.
That would be something to try to reach out to one of those guys and see if we could get a little information from them, because this is not like your neighborhood liquor store burning down, and you just find a new building and you reorder from the distributor and set up. I mean, this could be years to build back up because of the tobacco, the drying, everything that's involved in creating this product. This could be, one, it could wipe them off the map. They might not be able to recover from this. And two, if they have the financial wherewithal to ride it out, to start over, how long does that process take? I mean, is that a 2-year process? Is that a 10-year process before we see a new Freud cigar or a new Room 101 or whatever? That's just, you sent us the link to that through a Facebook Messenger, and I was just like, wow. We kind of look at everything in terms of where we live here, in the U.S., and I think, wow, man, they couldn't have put something together faster to get that out or to do that, but we don't realize, I think, sometimes that the capabilities of other countries may not be as significant or extensive as the capabilities of a metropolitan fire department here or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was really sad, man, to read that article. It was really hard.
Yeah, mutual aid does not exist.
Yeah.
Right. And the hard part for like Caldwell, that was their main production facility. So they lost 800,000 cigars in various stages from aging to ready to ship out to being boxed, all of that. It was gone. And that, when you figure 100,000 cigars, almost 1 million cigars to round up, a boutique cigar company, to put that in perspective, produces less than 1 million cigars a year. So you're talking, he had an entire cigar company wiped out in one shot.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he has said, he released a very nice statement yesterday, I believe it was, and he has said, we're rebuilding. They're spooling up that other factory that they had, the smaller one, and they will be back. They're not leaving. The consequence of this happening, and I cannot speak for anybody else because I haven't talked with anybody or read anything from anybody else, but in reading Robert Caldwell's statement, is that there are unfortunately some lines that will not recover from this. The Last Tsar being one of them. It's going to be discontinued. And my phone doesn't want to cooperate with me. So the quote is as follows. The following brands will be discontinued once our stock in the Miami is sold. The Last Tsar, Midnight Express, Eastern Standard, Sun-Grown, Pacific Standard, La Barbara Red, La Barbara Purple. Those unfortunately are going to be gone. So if they're ones that you like, other than the Last Tsar, stop taking them away from me, people. Buy what you can now because you're only going to have a finite time to enjoy them.
Well, you just touched upon one of the consequences in the consumer market is when something like this happens and you see lines being discontinued for whatever reason, it jacks the price up on the cigars because people are doing the mad dash. I know you involve yourself in a lot of auctions, and you've seen the price jump.
I'm pretty much, and I'm trying to buy everything I can get as far as the Last Tsar goes, so I have a good supply of them. But yes, it is. In fact, in one of the sites that I do business with to get cigars that my local brick and mortar doesn't carry, it's no longer the standard practice of buying them. People are now willing to pay above MSRP.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
But that goes back to the ancient law of retail supply and demand. Supply just disappeared, so that balance is thrown way out of whack regardless of what the demand was before. There's nothing. People know that what I have is what I have, and what's out there is what's out there now.
But one of the interesting notes is they said that the U.S. cigar market, their supply is strong. So with it burning down, is there an artificial sense of panic? Whereas, okay, so these are being discontinued. If everything would go just, what do you call it? Damn it, I cannot think of the word right now. Damn.
Well, if everything ran status quo.
Thank you. That's the word.
Yeah.
Or phrase.
It's interesting. The fire just exacerbated, I think, and I don't want to say problem because it's not a problem, but just a fact in the cigar industry. This is a handmade product from specific blending of plants that may not continue forever regardless. We've seen lines come and go.
Of course.
Because, they grew a specific amount of tobacco to age and blend for this specific cigar. Well, over the process, the time involved to grow that, dry that, age that, blend that, roll that, create that cigar, there's going to be X number of cigars. The tobacco, the field, the growing conditions, everything has changed during that time. So the possibility of recreating that exact tobacco may not exist anymore.
True.
So that line is gone. Cigar XYZ, there was 1 million, 10 million, 750 million, whatever the number was, those were produced and those are gone. At some point, the Last Tsar probably would have gone away because they used up everything that they had allotted to make these cigars.
Yeah.
The fire just sped the time of that up.
Yes,
instead
it
of it taking 2 or 3 years and having lead time to say, oh, the Last Tsar will be going away, it's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone. Well, we can't produce anymore because we don't have the raw materials to make it
Right.
anymore.
So
And
what's
now-
out there is out there.
Now that's making the stock that they have in Miami all that more valuable to the consumer because now we're all going, hey, send them our way here.
Well, and then the funny part of that, or funny is probably not the right word, but the funny part of that is we see that effect on the market as far as like the auction sites that you guys go on, but the average consumer hears that there was an issue, there was a fire, there was a whatever, but they don't have the information. Is there 600 boxes of Last Tsars or is there 6 million boxes of Last Tsars somewhere?
Don't have the answer to that either.
Well, and if the cop was smart, they won't put the answer to that.
I was
out there
about to
either,
say, why would you even
Yeah.
say anything?
Just keep your mouth shut and let the consumer confidence take that product where it takes it.
Right.
Well, and regardless of how many there are available in the market, there you also have to deal with the FOMO, fear of missing out. Like, oh, I tried this once and I never really got a chance to try it. It's like, oh, now there may not be any more in a year. Now people are probably, because like Greg said, people are paying over
But you know
MSRP.
what, though? The thing about that is, how many lines show up and just go away? There's
Unknown.
A whole bunch of,
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that we have yet to try from, I would call them, no disrespect to folks who stick their necks out to put a line out, but hobbyists who just think, I have more money than sense.
We just missed the boat on a few because we didn't get around to them yet, or they didn't make it into our local brick and mortar, or they were just marketed in a particular region of the country or a particular area of the world. Yeah, I mean that probably happens far more than we even take the time to realize.
Yeah. I'm talking more so of, cigar manufacturers who are quote unquote hobbyists, again, no disrespect, who say, hey, it would be fun to do a line, and they do a line, they might be seconds or who knows what. I mean, that's just one of the ugly truths in the industry. And it just doesn't take off. No one likes it, or it's very, very limited for whatever reason. They don't have the money to do the advertising or the distribution.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many factors that could impede that success. I mean, it doesn't have to not be a great cigar. It could have been a great cigar and terrible marketing.
Yep.
Or it could have been a great cigar, but there wasn't enough financing. There wasn't enough money behind it to push it very far. So yeah, there's a ton of factors, and then the fact that something like this just wipes out an entire line that was putting out some great products to begin with is just, that's devastating.
And then, I mean, the three of us, let's be honest, the three of us fell into that category because other than, when we met when we went to the Adventura booth, none of us had smoked their cigars before, really. And, we bought 3 boxes, divided the 3 boxes between the 3 of us, so we all got the sum of each. And I found I really liked them, and that was their whole factory that got wiped out. So,
Yeah.
Yes, they're coming back. And as you said earlier in the broadcast, how long will it take them to recover? But I really hope they come back because I like their product.
Yeah.
That one box in the shape of a ship kicks ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's badass.
Oh, it's that company.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, man. I wish
Damn
we
it.
had a camera on camera.
Yeah, I
camera
wish we had a
gorillas.
camera to
So-
look at his face.
Camera Gorilla got assorted goodies from the Denver trip as tribute for my personage. And yeah, those were some of the ones I really liked, and I didn't put the name to the cigar until just now. And this is the first Last Tsar Greg gave me, and I'm kind of going, I wish he didn't. I wish I could have just not. Ignorance is bliss, and now I know I like this cigar, and now I know. But again, that goes back to the whole I like this, and it may not be available anymore.
But the thing is, I am actively right now searching out as many as I can get my hands on top of the 9 boxes worth I already have.
Jesus Christ.
You're part of the problem. No,
Yes, I am, and I don't care.
Shit.
but the other thing that compounds it is if they had just come out and said, hey, we're not going to be making the Last Tsar, they're not going to be available, we're not be producing anymore a year from now once we use up the tobacco, it would have petered out naturally. But because it's a news story, that also kind of drives.
It does.
And I apologize because it's a equivalent analogy, and I apologize in advance for it. I read an article that's kind of similar to this problem that the cigar line's having with coin collectors are pissed off right now because all the fucking normies are buying up coins with Queen Elizabeth's face on it and fucking up that market. So it's that same thing where a news story drops and any regular day it wouldn't have fucked with it, but because it's this major event in that circle, it brings out all the people like, oh, I want to be a part of it, or I want to get the cigar. Or
You realize what you just done, right?
what?
You've just created a quandary for Greg. Do I spend my money on Queen Elizabeth coins or cigars?
Okay, fucko, let me explain something
If there
to
had
you.
been a Queen Elizabeth cigar,
But like,
Wait
corner the
a
market
minute.
like the Hunt brothers.
Wait a
in,
minute.
He
Silver.
just sold his car.
He just forgot what he got me for Christmas, which was all Queen Elizabeth themed things. Number 1.
Yeah, he's the shop for.
Number 2,
How do you find a 3X pair of boxers with Queen Elizabeth's face on the front.
believe it or not,
Amazon.
they're out there. And then I already have I have a buddy traveled to the UK for me
Excuse me.
or a couple dozen years ago and brought me back a complete set of the money from the penny up to a £10 note. So I don't need all that stuff.
But we're using all these analogies. There's an even more simple analogy to it is, hey, the supply chain might get fucked up by this new pandemic. Don't worry, though. If everyone behaves normally, we should be fine with the supply we have.
And no toilet
everyone
paper.
Panicked, and there's no toilet paper, no wet wipes, no,
No diapers and
people are playing, near my God to thee in empty stores, like the Titanic's going down. Like, we've seen this before. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
it's just more concentrated in this very niche product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've looked at the negative. Let's look at one positive thing for a second. And that was that, yes, unfortunately, these companies lost that factory, but no one was hurt at all.
Yeah, there were no injuries. That is good.
That
news.
is a good news for that. But, all the companies have said they're going to be back. They're going to get that satellite facility up and running, and they're going to bring their product back, so we're good.
Hey, on a quick rabbit hole note from looking at these couple of these articles, 3 of the headlines of articles that I looked at said started off when the first couple of sentences with fire in the Santiago free zone.
I don't know what that means either.
Well, I didn't either, but so I looked it up. Santiago Free Zone, founded in 1974. It's a successful model for public-private management whose mission is to create, attract investments, and generate jobs, enhance the economic and social development of the city of Santiago and the northern region. So it's a specific area that they've created that has, looks like, from what I read real quick, tax breaks for manufacturing. They've set aside this area to try to boost economic development, and not just for cigars. I guess there's 4 or 5, it looks like, right there in that area. If you look at the little satellite map thing they put up. But a lot of production manufacturing stuff in this one area, and created a ton of jobs. And it's letting them kind of branch out, doing some social programs, not only just in that area and for those residents and employees, but it's created a huge volume of social programs, money to be available for that whole region. So kind of a cool read if you need a rabbit trail to go down on something. A really cool product or process going on there in the Dominican, and it's been going on since the mid 70s. So
right on.
Yeah, that
sounds like a lesson that some people could take away from this.
Yeah, go figure. But yeah, so that was kind of neat, reading that, and my ADD let me get farther into that article than most, so it was kind of cool.
Can I shift down another rabbit hole for a second?
Rabbit away, my friend.
So, in talking about, obviously Caldwell is discontinuing a few of his lines. There have been several other major announcements in the cigar industry regarding discontinuing of lines. I am not going to sit here and recitate the long list of 120 different SKUs in the Drew Estate line and the Liga Privada line that are being discontinued. There was one, however, that will pique your attention. If I sent you the article, I don't know if you read it or not. Camacho is also discontinuing certain lines.
You mentioned that this week.
I looked at the highlights on that, and that just irritated me. No, I did not read the full article, and I intentionally did not read the full article because I didn't want it to piss me off any farther than it did. Just looking at basically the headline, and I get it, sort of. As these manufacturers get bought up, bought out, combine, whatever you want to call it, I know there's going to be a natural attrition that occurs in that, where you got basically 2 cigars that are basically the same, 2 different labels. It doesn't make any sense from a manufacturing, marketing, sales standpoint to have 2 products that are named something different. I get that. At the same time, just run it out, just like what we talked about with this other stuff. Run it out. You have X number of bales of tobacco. You have X number of whatever. Let its life run.
Yeah.
But, and it's also not my money to spend either. So, it sounds real good from this side of the couch. But
so they're basically just cutting it off at the knees as far as Camacho goes. It's basically it's whatever the case may be, whatever SKU it is. It's like no more, just done.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it sounds like. As far as the couple of the lines that they're getting rid of, they were never ones really that I smoked. I tried them when they came out, but they were never ones that are my go-to when I think of Camacho.
Larry,
the barrel aged. The barrel aged is one of them. The American barrel aged. And to jump back for Drew Estate for just a second, it's not like whole families of lines are being discontinued, right? It's certain sizes in certain lines. I mean, the list is 120 different SKUs. It's like not worth repeating.
Well,
but
the flip side of that coin is, did they have too many to begin with?
I'd say yes.
Oh yeah.
Because And we were just talking about this when John was here from Christoph, about having every blend you have in every size. That, to me, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense from a financial manufacturing point. Doesn't make sense from a marketing point. You're not going to be able to talk retailers into carrying everything because they don't have the space. And you're putting too much stimuli in front of the consumer, when they see, okay, here's 14 different cigars, but really it's the same cigar in a different size.
You know what I liken that to? The Cheesecake Factory analogy. Basically, you go to the Cheesecake Factory, and it's like a freaking War and Peace menu. I mean, variety, yeah, that's nice, but how can you possibly do, all of those
40 different flavors of cheesecake?
Well, no, cheesecake is one thing. I'm talking about, the menu as far as food goes. That's just so massive. It's like, okay, what's the one thing you do well? Because you can't possibly do all 50 of those well.
I think I agree with you. I agree with you, and it just clicked for me to understanding because LBB's menu is one page front and back. That's it. And the back is mostly the beer.
Yeah. Well, and it's, and there's different business models in the cigar industry, just like there are in every other walk of life. If there wasn't, we would all 3, 4 of us be wearing a yellow jumpsuit and driving the same, wind-up car. It's obviously that business model has worked for Camacho, for Drew for a long time because they have a very good footprint in the industry. But, hey, maybe, it's just time. If these lines, these sizes aren't moving, that's a financial decision. Hey, man, let's put this tobacco to use. And if it's the same tobacco making 8 different sizes of cigars, it's a no-brainer to make the 3 sizes that are selling. Then, why would you commit something that's limited to begin with, as far as the raw materials, to a size that ain't selling? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you want it sitting there, or do you want it moving?
Yeah,
so
moving
people
so you can invest in new tobacco. So it's from that side of it, that standpoint, I understand. I understand it, but I was surprised at how big a move they're making. I mean, like you said, they're cutting a ton of stuff, and maybe they had too much. I mean, maybe it was time to do that big. I'm surprised that they didn't segment that out a little bit. Do it, like in quarters. We're losing these lines, first quarter of this year or last quarter of this year. We're losing some more lines the first quarter. But, then again, flip side of the coin again. Hey, whole hog or nothing. Let's get rid of this shit and start with something new.
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off, man.
Yeah.
I know in a lot of cases, Drew and Camacho too, it falls under the same thing that Caldwell's doing. It falls under the factories are being told not to make these sizes anymore. When the stock that we have runs out, the line is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's tragic. But as you've said on many shows, it's also the cost of doing business.
Yep. Well, and there's only so much of this raw material. There's not an unlimited supply. So
It's an organic product.
Yeah, it's so you gotta focus your energy on, because the ultimate end game for these cigar manufacturers is to make a profit, make a living, keep paying the bills, keeping the lights on, and that product has to be selling for that to happen. So you want to invest your time, money, energy, resources into the best-selling products you can put out there. Right?
Absolutely.
So
is that the way the industry is trending, though? Is that because I know with some of the smaller, like Don Dorteo and Apostate that you guys have talked to, is that where most of the newer companies are focusing their energy? Is not one line, all the sizes? Is it more like Apostate where they have multiple different cigars dedicated to one or two or maybe three sizes? Is that a trend that is starting to pop up?
I think it is. I think we go back to talking to Ed Trevino from Luciano Cigars when we talked to him a couple months ago. A blender designs a blend to be in a specific size. Mm-hmm. That is not necessarily the size the market demands. You know, when a blender creates a beautiful Corona, for example, that's going to be a market that's not very specific. You look at the four of us sitting here, okay? Scott and I are probably going to be the only two that are going to want to gravitate towards trying it because it's in the Corona, because we prefer the smaller ring gauges and the smaller sizes versus, you know, you two, which typically don't. So I think that creates the desire to, okay, I got this great blend. Now let's make it, and it's phenomenal in that Corona. Now I need to make it in a Churchill and a Toro and a Robusto because that's the size most typically bought by the consumer.
It's the difference between fishing with a hook or fishing with a dragnet.
Or a Dynamite.
Yeah, Dynamite. Because it seems like even something like Oscar, it seems like he either picks a size for a blend or he'll do a big and a small, so a Lancero and a whatever other side. Like the 2012 Barber Pole is a good example. He did a box pressed and a Lancero, and they're both fantastic.
And that's actually, you make a beautiful point, because that's the case. Oscar, being a master blender himself, he blends the cigars, he blends the sizes that he wants, and that's what he runs with. The rest of them don't matter.
Okay.
So yeah,
I think, again, as a newer smoker and someone who's still learning, I think it's cool when a company like Apostate or Don Torteo says, we didn't just blend tobacco and made it in every size under the rainbow. God bless, here you go. I like the idea of, no, we took the time and said, this is the size this works as, especially after talking to Apostate and saying, no, we put a lot of thought and meaning, and not only the symbolism, because I think that's cool from a graphic design point, we've talked about that, but from a cigar and flavor standpoint, they said, no, this is how this cigar works like this,
right? And
we like it like this.
Well, and what some of the smaller houses, I don't think, and this is no fault of theirs, and I'm not trying to put anybody down. When you start looking at some of the boutique manufacturers, it's a financial decision too.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
You know, I mean, let's be honest. And 100%, it's, you know, blend. Oscar's a great example. Blend the tobacco. This is the size that this blend is going to work best in, 100%. But there is a financial component to that, because it's a hell of a lot more costly to put it out in 5 different sizes than it is
exactly
in 2. So it's a combination of those things, really. And from the creative standpoint, 100%. Blend the cigar for the best, you know, and produce it in what you feel, what the manufacturer of the blender feels is the best experience, the best size for the consumer. But, you know, at the same time, you know, I got this much money to put into this project, and that's it. We can only do this, and we got to do one thing. We got to do it very well. You know, we got to In-N-Out burger this and do it really well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's both of those things working at the same time. Sometimes they work together. Sometimes they compete against each other. But the end game is to get that product to market and sell as much of that product as you can. And going back to the Apostate reference for a second. And we talked about this with them, I think, and with a couple other people. We're at a unique point in time, not just for the cigar industry, but for business in general, with how things are marketed, how things are advertised, that we are light years ahead of just how they used to market cigarettes to our parents.
Yes.
You know, the advertising, the social media aspect, all that stuff is so much different just in the last 10, 12 years, that you can create a mystique. You can create a buzz. You can create a following. You can also have a train interrupt what you're saying.
Jolly Time Station, whatever the fuck that is.
Shining Time Station.
Shiny Time
Yeah,
Station.
of course you know what it is.
Just with the social media stuff, and we're part of that. I mean, we're it's stuff like this. People talking about products. It's so much easier to assimilate information. It's so much easier for people to hear about stuff just from little bitty tiny things that are a specific region of the country or specific part of the world that there was no way you'd even known about 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So I think that makes it easier in a sense for especially in the cigar industry for these boutique guys to have taken off at the speed that they have. And we said that I think just last podcast. It's like, man, the new stuff, the small stuff is coming out of the gate just running with. That was disappointing as Scott turns the rum bottle up.
Hit the back of it like a ketchup bottle.
Yeah, turns the rum bottle up, and 4 drops and a cotton ball fall out. Oh, all right. You okay there, buddy?
Little puff of dust just.
Camera Gorilla, I have an assignment for you.
Oh.
You need to play like the sad song from The Incredible Hulk as this just dripped to nothing. This
As Camera Gorilla makes his notes. More dumb shit I have to do.
Sad music for Scott.
I think you should do the Price is Right. Wah, 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 wah.
You know when you do that, Greg, it's a little slower and the tone is way off.
Yeah, whatever. So,
Way to kill the vibe, man.
as we go into the as we talked about the tragedy that comes with Cadwell and discontinuing of lines, I want to talk about something positive for a minute.
All right. Good luck.
Buckle up.
So, as most of you know that have listened to the podcast regularly, Rabbit Air sent us a unit. So, I want to talk a little bit about the unit, how it works, and things like that for what we've done. Obviously, I tested it in one of the most dangerous environments known to man, his house.
Wow.
How is it the most dangerous environment known
Because
to
if
man?
it hadn't worked, your wife would have homicided both of us.
No, she'd have
This
homicided
would
you.
become the Unky Larry show.
Oh, so wait a minute. You keep saying she'd only homicided me, but your wife watches this program.
Who gave him permission?
And your wife would have known that you gave me permission to do it, so don't think you're freaking safe.
Oh, no. I'd have been like, nope. I said it under duress. You know I was drinking, so I don't know what I was saying.
So, anyway.
You're going to run that, huh? Woo.
Your wife ain't that dumb to believe that one.
Yes, Scott's dead, but our new friend here, Steve Richardson, and his mustache. Witness protection.
No, I prefer Pablo El Segundo.
I'm putting a little.
Hey, if you could get a still shot of the van from Cheech and Chong, that would be awesome.
No more notes.
More notes. I love it.
So, we got the A3. It's one of the newer models. Retails $750. I have nothing but positive things to say about it. The unit does exactly what they say it did. I smoked for 6 days in Scott's office with the door shut and that little Rabbit Air running. When Tiny Wife came in the 7th day, didn't notice any lingering cigar smell, didn't notice anything like that. I call that a successful win. The unit does exactly as advertised, and it works.
Awesome.
On the 7th day, it rose again in fulfillment of the scriptures.
I thought that was the third day.
So, if you guys are looking for something to smoke, whether it be a man cave that you've built in a shed out back, whether it be a basement, whether it be a home office, whatever.
Your damn living room. The thing works, man.
The thing works.
But I think one thing needs to be said, because I think a lot of people misunderstand the use of units such as that. Because I've heard a couple of detractors say it doesn't work. It does work. However, smoke, certain things soak up smoke.
Yes.
Carpet, furniture, and such. And if you don't fucking clean, your tables and all of that and keep that clean, that smoke is going to linger. Well, but that's not on the fault of the rabbit air. It gets rid of the
you're always going to have a percentage of it get to the carpet or the walls or the whatever.
Well, you got to be smarter than the elements.
Right.
If you're going to buy a rabbit air to put in a area that you are going to smoke cigars, cigarettes, pipe, whatever it is, okay, go for the whole ride. And what I mean by that is if you're building a man cave or you have the shed that you're smoking in, let's not start off with having a cloth couch and carpet.
Yes.
Be smarter than the elements. If you know that's going to be that primary function of that area is going to be for smoking, then set it up to make it smoke friendly.
There's also
there you go.
There's also a reason there's hardwood floors in this establishment, and we're sitting on leather furniture.
Yeah, and having cleaned in this establishment, they have an industrial vent fan, and you still need to clean regularly. And when you do, it is gnarly because smoke and tar. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
That the rabbit air and systems like it aren't going to clean the room for you, but it's going to make it so instead of cleaning it once a month, you might be able to get away doing it once every 3 months or once every 6 months.
Right. And there's also,
and it won't smell bad.
Well, there's also a factor that most people forget about when they're building their man caves. It's this right here. It's called an ashtray. It's not called leave it there and let it fill up. You have to clean it and empty it after you're done smoking every time. Because if you don't, this will linger with a smell that you don't want in your room.
Yes, that includes in your trash can if you just dump it in the can.
Because I know that, Scott and I predominantly smoke outside. And do I let my ashtray fill up and pile up out there? Yes, because it's outside.
Yeah, it's open air.
In here, in this shop, we have to empty the ashtrays periodically throughout the day because they fill up. And if you leave an ashtray in an enclosed space overnight, like my car, for example, and you forget to close the lid and or empty it out, the car does not smell very pleasant the next day. So, yes.
Rabbit air, any chance you guys could make a car model,
clips to the vent.
And
Plugs into the cigarette lighter.
This thing could be the size of a boom box for those of you for those of you under 30. That's a large portable radio. But,
dang, brother, that's a kicking speaker system you got. Actually,
it filters the air in my Monte Carlo, jackass. But no, seriously.
Just have the rabbit air sitting shotgun. Get one of those 110 inverters.
Don't think I haven't thought about that.
Put
that in the back seat of the truck, and I'm going to be chain smoking cigars.
On that note, though, you mentioned something at breakfast this morning that I didn't realize you were thinking of doing. Are you unofficially getting a rabbit air at some point? Is this something that
I believe your mother has spoken about purchasing a rabbit air for me for Christmas.
Oh, you had mentioned it was your intention to maybe try it out in the trailer.
We're Home Slice here is going to get me the rabbit air for the next camping trip, which we have altered our dates due to technical difficulties with the trailer. I have a warranty issue that I need to get fixed, and they gave us a date of when we could bring it in, and it was the date we were supposed to be leaving for the next camping trip, and I am not screwing that up because I've gone back and forth with these guys. And it's been in there a couple of times for the same issue, so I am going to drive it down there, park it, and go fix it, please.
Because you mentioned that at breakfast, and I was wondering if that's something people had even considered using that for.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it's for, is to filter air.
God forbid, we might even be able to smoke in the motor ghetto.
No, we won't.
No, Scott's like, no, there's no
I
technology.
told you, I considered it. It is not a motor ghetto, fucker. Anyway.
I have the tapes.
Differ.
You called it the motor ghetto.
I did not call it the motor ghetto.
In all defense, that was me that called it the motor ghetto.
Yeah, but you got him used. I have the receipts. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the thing's designed for, is to filter air in a confined space.
Yes.
So to me, that's just a no-brainer. Let's bring in the trailer. I have an advantage over Mr. Robinson, is that my significant other, although does not smoke cigars, does not mind the fact that, I mean, she'll ride in a vehicle with me smoking, provided I, have a window cracked and stuff like
Quarter
that.
inch and shit.
Yeah, it's just like your grandpa. Both my parents were cigarette smokers, constant cigarette smokers. My father lit one Pall Mall off another, and family vacation in a Buick when I was a kid. My dad's idea of ventilating the car with fresh air was cracking the wind wing window open about the thickness of a quarter.
Yeah, your dad and my dad could have gotten together, because he'd be in his freaking Ford truck when I was a kid and smoking those Cool Filter Kings or whichever they were back then. And yes, I'm very familiar with the smell of Cool cigarettes.
Oh, I got the blend when I was a kid, because Pop smoked either Winston's or Pall Mall, and my mom smoked Newports.
Damn.
Burning Christmas trees.
Oh my God!
Could have been Benson and Hedges.
Well, mom's was super trendy.
She's a classy lady.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna scoot over so the lightning bolt doesn't hit me.
but yeah, man. I mean, dude, I couldn't even imagine trying to convince my father, if he was alive today, hey, we got to have this air filter thing because dude, my pops would have slapped me in the head. You turn it on what? Because, but think about it, guys, once again, you're not picking on the younger crowd, but
we are.
Camera Gorilla here isn't even 30 yet. He has no concept in his age bracket of the fact, walking into a Denny's restaurant for breakfast and they ask you if you want to be seated in smoking or non-smoking.
Yes.
And the difference is a 12-inch glass window or partition on the top of the booth.
Yes.
Where the fuck do they think
it's not
that's
smoking or non-smoking. It's how close do you want to be to the smoke?
Yeah. That's like having a non-peeing section in a public swimming pool. I mean, and it was
try that shit on a plane, man.
No, everything. No, you used to be able to smoke on an airplane. I mean, but wind back 50 years. Go back into the the 60s, dude. Everybody smoked cigarettes. I mean, that was just a thing.
Well, as you've said before too, Grandpa Jack took gunfire from the Japanese. I don't think he's concerned with the long-term health effects of cigarettes.
Just think about how much more enjoyable that would make our travel if we could smoke cigars on an airplane.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, we would just be irritating pieces of shit on an airplane.
You'd be duct taped to your seat.
I'm already an irritating piece of shit. I don't need to bring that up here.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out to the listening audience.
The first step to solving a problem is admitting you have a problem.
That just gave me happy thoughts, sitting back in first class with a drink.
Oh, fuck you in your first class. God damn.
That's the other thing you said. Young people looking back, like, God, they used to have full on like bars and smoking lounges on airplanes. What the?
Well, you used to have to wear a suit, and your meal would be served on china.
Jesus.
I'm going to refrain from saying this on the podcast.
And yet,
so remind me after the recording is turned off to point out something else that would not have happened 50 years ago. But yeah.
Fuck you. I know where that's going. My white friends suck.
that's the title
Meanwhile,
of this episode.
Rabbit Air is a great product. Poor Greg's got his head down on the microphone.
Greg's like, this is it. We made it to 75. That was a good run.
It was a good run, folks.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Camera Gorilla, did we touch on all the topics on our notes?
No, we did not. Oh, we did.
We did?
We talked about your happy little humidor, did we?
We did not. How's your happy little humidor doing?
Thank you for reminding me. So, yes, you all saw that video, and I have been told it's mostly pictures of my rear end. Sorry for that, folks. First time I'd
link
ever
in the description.
First time I'd ever done something like that. Okay.
Yeah, you lost me in the first 2 minutes, my friend.
Hold on. It's the first time you've ever taken long videos of your rear end, or it's the first time you've ever built a humidor?
Yes.
It'd be
both.
I would question that statement.
Anyway, so I had bought that 5,000 count chest humidor, had the Cigar Oasis to go in it. Unfortunately, the best laid plans of mice and men, things often change. So a buddy of ours who has been a staple in this shop for many years moved back east and now settling in Alabama. He gave me his stand-up cabinet humidor. I go over to pick it up, and I said, hey, how long has this been without humidity in it? He goes, about 2 hours. I went, oh, Christ. Okay. Perfectly seasoned, ready to go. Load the thing in my car, take it home, immediately take my Cigar Oasis out of that 5,000 count that was seasoning, which takes 2 months to season, by the way, and put it in the other one. And it's right now holding my cigar box collection of empty cigar boxes because I need to buy another Cigar Oasis. So, yeah, it's built, but I'm not using it right now because I got a 1,500 count stand-up, and I'm using that right now, and that's still not enough. Okay. I had to buy a couple of totes from Home Depot that are really great. They're these red Husky totes in the back there.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
They're airtight and watertight. And I've got boxes that don't fit in the humidor in that one, and I've got all the Rocky Mountain loose sticks from the last 2 years in a 5-gallon one with the 320-gram large Bovitas in there, 2 in the little one and 4 in the big one. They're holding humidity at 70% just fine. So that is a great storage solution.
You said they're airtight?
Air and watertight.
Okay. I got as a gift a couple years ago from my dad one of those, what are they called?
Pelican?
One of those Pelican cases as a humidor. Yes, it has a little air vent on it.
Yes.
Make sure you open it up and let it breathe because I had a mold problem.
I open them up periodically to move stuff around.
I learned that the hard way.
Uh-oh.
Not on anything expensive. It's fine. But yeah, I was concerned when you said that because I'm like, I've learned this the hard way.
Speaking of, Larry, didn't we get a cool-ass Pelican case at Rocky Mountain?
Yeah, everybody. Oh, yeah. I almost said everybody. 'Twasn't everybody. my little bald-headed friend.
God, you guys are dicks.
No shit.
I can't wait till Greg gets something that you guys don't. He's going to be...
Oh, you mean like a rabbit air?
Yeah.
Something like that? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Gurkha Pelican case. Yeah, really nice.
Good for you guys. I have one already.
Anthony, I'll send you a picture. You can put it up on the on
Oh, yeah,
on the
it kicks ass.
I mean,
So,
let's...
Hey, hold on. So back to your little humidor issue.
Okay.
When are you going to throw a crowbar in your wallet, Marianne, and buy another Cigar Oasis?
As soon as I pay off the expense from Rocky Mountain.
Can you not do that?
Yeah, that's really loud.
That is impossible to edit out, by the way.
And annoying.
As soon as I...
You.
I was talking about
soon
him.
as
What
I-
the fuck I do?
soon as I pay
I know he's annoying. He's mine.
As soon as I pay off the $1,700 from Rocky Mountain.
Oh, listen to this guy. That's like one overtime check, man. Come on.
No, it's not. Not even close.
If it was, he wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
True. So, yeah, I mean, that like you said, things happen, things change. That new humidor works great. And,
well, you can't pass up. That was the ultimate opportunity.
yeah, here's a free cabinet humidor and it's seasoned. Why would I say no?
Yeah.
No such thing as a free puppy.
You would know.
Yeah, no shit. free puppy. No.
How is the crack addict that is your dog? And let me just clarify this statement because I know your wife's going to listen to this. I love your dog. That loud ass crack-induced piece of shit. I mean, I will be glad when it is no longer a puppy. And dude, when was the last? I haven't seen your dog in weeks. And I wake up in the middle of the night going, because, man, if you could figure out how to bottle the energy from that thing,
I'll buy it.
It's like, Jesus Christ, look at this dog go. It's like 7,000 miles an hour. And the yipper is on fast forward.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, holy Christ.
You'd think he had a freaking chihuahua.
Oh, man, that dog is something else.
Oh, no, Reno was mellow. This one, woof. And she's figured.
Reno was old.
Even when he was younger, he was not.
I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing as far as the medication of
CBD, baby.
Doggy CBDs, but up the dosage. Sue, up the dosage. This dog is off the chain, man.
And just think, because it's a small dog, 3 to 5 years of this.
Well, she's figured out her schedule. So, of course, we work at home during the day. Around 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock, she knows the work day is over. So that's, come play with me. When my dog comes up to me around 3:30 with something in her mouth and wants to play fetch, and don't even think about trying to watch TV in the primetime TV, because she comes running with something and wants you to throw it across the house. Several times.
On a side topic on animals, I'm going to bag on one of our podcast buddies here for a second. Samuel from Cigar Junkies.
Oh, shit.
They posted something on their Facebook page here, I don't know, probably a week ago now, asking a question. If you had a fur baby that you smoked with, which that entire term just irritates me, but guys are throwing stuff up, pictures of dogs, pictures of whatever. I posted a picture early on in this. I was like the second person to post because I saw it at 5 a.m. when I went to the shop. Me holding my goatee and asking if this qualified, and I was disappointed in some of the lack of feedback. But Samuel, I'm just saying, man. I went back through this whole post, and there was not one odd animal. No kangaroo, no iguana, no nothing. I mean, y'all's people got to step their game up a little bit, man.
Okay, now see, I boycotted that question for one reason and one reason only. Fur baby. That term. Hold on. Fur baby. The only people who call their dogs fur babies or cats are women who live alone,
single
who never knew the touch of a man. That's who calls them fur babies.
This from the guy who brought his new puppy on a first camping trip in a dog stroller.
Fuck you, that was not my dog stroller. I had nothing to do with it. I never ordered it. I never touched it. No, I never touched it. No.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
No.
Guilt
by marriage. Guilt by marriage.
I didn't touch that fucking thing. Larry pushed it.
You were an
So
accessory.
is the divorce being finalized if you're going to take no responsibility?
Yep.
Guilt by
I
marriage.
take no responsibility for that. None. I had nothing to do with it.
You were in the blast zone, sir.
Good news, we filled our hour.
And it was all pretty good topics, too.
So, yeah, Samuel, one of y'all is going to have to buy a kangaroo. That's all. That's what I'm getting
I think
at.
Corey's going to be the one to buy that one.
And we're supposed to be setting up a time to do a
video herf with them? Yes.
That I'm actually going to show up for.
Yeah. We should do a show. Screw a herf. Let's do a show.
November's open.
Well, wait a minute. Let's see. That means they'd have to get up at No, they're behind us, huh?
They're behind us by 3 hours.
Oh, maybe we should do one at midnight. Hey, asshole! It's 3 a.m. Get up and talk to us. Nah, man. I was completely flaked that we were supposed to be doing that with those guys that day. Scotty even called me. He's like, "Dude, where are you?" I'm like, "I'm halfway on a delivery. What's going on?" So you're not coming on the HERF? Damn it! And of all the things to miss, I was so bummed out that I missed that because I got such a kick out of Samuel at PC.
Oh yeah,
man, that dude was funny as hell.
You missed so many opportunities.
Oh no, I'm sure
he was on the video HERF with us while fighting the virus.
Oh my God. No, it was enough fun picking on him about his hat and stuff, And I'm walking through PCA looking for you guys because we'd separated for a minute, and I see him he's standing there with like 6 people, right? And he's got this cowboy hat from hell on, and I just like, hey, do they sell men's clothes where you bought that hat? And everybody standing around him's like looking at me and looking at him, and it's like, is this going to be a fight?
You disappointed a lot of people that day. There were people looking for a fight.
Yeah, I disappoint people a lot. I do, but of all the things that I have been unavailable for on this, that just shot a hole in the rest of my day. I'm like, damn, man, I missed that. And then, Corey, who I've never even met or talked to, will light me up on Facebook. Oh, hey, you're the guy that didn't show up and shit, right? Hey, F you, and I don't know you, but F you. And so, yeah, that was. I look forward to doing that again with or doing it. Period with those guys. Boy, that sounded horrible.
Waka waka.
You could have
waka,
just
waka,
not
waka,
said
waka.
anything, and no one would have thought about it.
I'm sure somebody would. I'm sure Samuel would have thought about it. So
you're not making it better.
Camera Gorilla.
Yes.
How are you liking that Last Tsar?
I'm upset that you let me have one because now that we've talked about the fallout of the factory fire, we're gonna talk. We're gonna have to broker a deal because that was incredible.
Okay,
It was very good.
I am relieved actually that you kind of added to that because when you said we're gonna have to talk, I thought you were gonna say something like we gotta hug it out and talk about our feelings and shit.
No.
So since we're
I
on
need to unpack some shit with you,
Anthony,
Scott.
yeah, apparently so. Anthony, take the extra one home for yourself.
Oh, God bless you.
That was really sweet. Cue the set. You need Cue
the Nora Jones music.
What did we learn today, kids?
We learned to share. Larry, how you liking on that stick?
Dude, this is, I think, my 5th or 6th Last Tsar now. And this is a really good, this is just a solid cigar. It's probably not something that I would have picked up on my own, without a little coaxing or something. But I'm really glad that I had an opportunity to smoke a few of these. It's a nice cigar. The flavor, and me, I'm the anti-flavor profile, probably the hardest
Tastes like cigar
out of all of us. But I'm not sure where to go with even what to try to tell somebody the flavor profile is on this. It's just it's got a lot of flavor, but there's nothing sweet really about it. There's nothing. It's just a nice full flavor that is consistent, from one end of the cigar to the other. And that's nice. I see the benefits in some of the stuff where you get, kind of the change of flavor through the cigar. And I don't always want that. This is just a nice, consistent smoke. It's good with the rum we got going. I think it would be a great morning, coffee cigar. if you're a wine drinker and you want to have a glass of wine after dinner out, sitting outside, I think this would be a good cigar for that too.
It'd have to be a good red, a good flavored red to stand up to the cigar. But yeah,
Scotty. Oh, here we go.
How about a Scotty Robinson rating?
Hold on. Camera Gorilla, if you would, cue the sad music. That comes later. This is a finely constructed, wonderfully flavored cigar. Very mellow, not what I expect from the appearance of the exterior of the cigar, but a smooth flavor. And as I smoke it, I miss it because I know that this will soon be no more.
Fade to black.
He's already black.
God damn it. See, I was going for an emotional moment to connect to the listeners and way to fuck it up.
That's what we do.
Really? Because I was waiting for some guy in an all-black suit to come up and drop a rose and a plastic cross on a coffin. What the hell are you talking about? Good grief.
So
Spit it out, man.
I really can't add much to all.
Oh, God, I would hope not.
I can't really add much to what you guys have all said as far as the cigar goes, because it is all those things. It's just, it really comes down to, it's just a great quality cigar that's on the market for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's super cigar flavored.
And if you can find it, get it.
Yeah, hey, if you haven't had one, or if you've walked by it in your brick and mortar,
Time to try it.
Yeah, it's time's up, guys. There's not going to be any more of these. Get one, or get one or two, sit down, smoke one at your brick and mortar, throw one in your humidor for later. But if you have an opportunity to purchase a couple of these, even one of these, and you call yourself a cigar guy,
you better.
You don't do this, you don't buy one of these, you're missing out on a good cigar.
Yes.
Or do what I'm going to do.
Wait until Greg buys more and then take them?
Well, I had to add one other part. I'm going to invest in the ski mask and go to Greg's house.
So next week, we will be looking for applications for the new host, because Scott will be dead.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Just do me a favor. If you're going to come over, I'd avoid the ski mask if you don't want to meet Dad in a very bad mood. Anyway, Mr. Robinson, we have not had one of your ratings in a while. So what are you rating this one?
Cue more sad music.
Oh, geez.
Here we go.
I'm unable to rate this because it is so wonderful. Words can't describe how good this is. I appreciate the fact that you turned me on to this. Actually, now I'm torn because I really don't appreciate that you turned me on to it because, as Camera Gorilla said, I would have been blissfully stupid not knowing this, but...
Camera Gorilla's losing his mind over here.
It went from, man, that sucks, that cigar line's going away, to no!
I'm just thinking of the end of Planet of the Apes.
I've tasted of the forbidden fruit and I want more.
I'm thinking like Charlton Heston at the end of Planet of the Apes. You blew it up! God damn you! Damn you all to hell!
All right, folks.
He likes it.
75. That was the number. We made it. Jesus Christ.
So, if there's a show next week, next episode, we are joined by one of Larry's favorite people we met at PCA.
As he segues because he can't remember her name.
No. Kara is one of the vice president of sales for a company called Cigar. It is a tip that goes on the end of your cigar to allow you to enjoy every last bit of this cigar, for example. She and her business partner will be joining us via StreamYard on the next episode, which will come out first week in November.
I got to prepare.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do, sir.
Camera Gorilla, we got to talk before this happens.
You guys are not cutting in. I will fire your ass. We are not cutting in. anything from that piece.
Oh, we don't have to.
We don't have to
cut it in. Facebook.com/Loomis Cigar Cartel.
You can watch the video.
Dude, you're an asshole.
Hey, your embarrassment is temporary, but the internet is forever.
Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Well, the best part about having kids is making them.
Oh, there we go. Camera Gorilla thinks we're done. The hell with you sons of bitches, click.
Well, it looks like the smoke's to the nub and my glass is empty as well as my bottle. So I guess it's about that time. I want to thank everybody out there. And on behalf of Camera Gorilla, myself, Greg, and Larry, thanks for listening. Check us out at LumisCigarCartel.com. Like and share us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Don't be a stranger. Drop us a line and let us know you're out there. I'm Scott Robinson, a.k.a. Pablo El Segundo. And from all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, we look forward to chatting with you on the next episode. But until then, stay healthy and safe. And good smoke, good drink, and good life.